And it's time to talk business thanks to our partners 2 Degrees. A2 Milk has just announced a major deal to buy a milk processing plant in New Zealand. Garth Bray, Business Desk, here with the latest. Garth, good morning. What do we know?
Morning, Ryan. Well, this has just dropped on the exchange because A2 had its full year results and it's posted a pretty healthy profit and earnings figure as well. We can get to that in a second. But the big news really is that it's confirmed what it's going to do with its $1 billion, more than $1 billion sort of net cash pile, and that's to purchase basically Yashili, which is owned by China's Mingnui Dairy. They've got a processing plant down in Pokeno next door to the Synlait plant that was opened about 10 years ago, valued about $220 million. They're paying $282 million to basically get seriously into the game of producing infant milk formula for the Chinese market rather than buying from others and so on. The key thing with this plant is that it has registrations for the China trade that enable it to access a different market from just the e-commerce side. It's a little bit like having a liquor license. And when you buy a bar, you've got the liquor license. It's a license to trade that stays with the premise rather than with the owner. And that's subject to Chinese regulatory approval. That's a very, very lucrative thing. I think David Bortolussi talking about accessing a sort of a $24 billion market with that. And that really steps up, and it probably rewards people's plays and to some extent in A2 Milk, which has jumped. I think the share price has jumped about 40% this year. So that's the numbers that came back, pretty convincing numbers too. I think we were looking about
more than 200 million, the after-tax net profit, right?
Yeah.
Which is up massively.
Yeah, 158, I think, last year. So big jump in profit, big jump in revenue, I think up about 13% to closing on $2 billion, sort of $1.9 billion. And I suppose just probably an indication of how strong the demand is for highly valuable, highly processed milk powders into China, not just for infants, but for some of the older market as well. They've had some success in targeting seniors, but really it's that infant milk formula space that's important. In China, they've announced kind of like a family boost package, basically giving people extra cash to go out and start families or to cut the cost of having a family, to encourage people to have more kids. That's likely to be sort of positive for anyone that's trying to sell stuff aimed at infants.
And we know that the Kiwi brand is very strong, and if you're dealing with children, you're dealing with infants, then you want something that's trustworthy. So those are all positives in terms of the outlook, but we also have the trade war, and there's fears about what that might do to the Chinese economy. They have an ageing population there, all those things. Did they give an indication of outlook going forward? Yeah,
well, I guess some of the outlook stuff there is that they're still hoping that will be the strategy that they're following really lets them make the most of whatever is there and available to them, and you'd have to argue that that's a pretty sensible play. I mean, the numbers out of China most recently, I think Friday we had some GDP numbers there, and they were talking about, I guess, a much sort of softer position there, that the activity there was weaker. The retail sales grew by 3.7 year on year, and that was down from 4.8 in the previous month. So some signs that things are slow a little bit there at the moment. You'd imagine A2 and others are going to be looking through that and saying, down the pipeline, how can we grab more? They're, I think, currently about the number 4 brand over there in their market. They want to try and push into that top 3.
Yeah, if you're buying a plant, you're looking long term, aren't you? That's cool.
And 100-odd jobs, extra jobs in Pokeno probably as a result of this, although they are selling a plant down in Gore to Open Country Dairy to enable all of this to happen, to free up some cash. So big changes in the milk and the dairy industry today.
Indeed, and a great result for A2. Thanks, Garth. Garth Bray, Business Desk. We chat to Garth from Business Desk every day, thanks to our partners 2 Degrees.